This is your 20-minute podcast where we do our best to give you useful information in 20 minutes or less. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/your 20-minute podcast. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now, here's your host, David Brower.
Hi, this is David Brower, and welcome back to your 20-minute podcast. Our guest is Avi Golhar from Atlanta, right?
That's right.
How's the weather in beautiful downtown Atlanta?
You know, it's not too shabby. Atlanta's kind of got a little bit of a bipolar disorder, I think. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, but, you know, we make do.
It sounds like Colorado, actually. Avi has an online community dedicated to the voice of real estate investing. It's designed for beginner investors looking how to get started and to the seasoned professional looking to take it to the next level. It's called GetReadyDealTalk.com. So how long have you been doing this online program?
Well, it's been quite a while. I started it about a year and a half ago, about 2 years ago, and I really noticed the need where, you know, I invest in Atlanta, and I'm a pretty heavy investor in the residential and multifamily side. I kept getting asked a lot of questions about, you know, how do you raise capital? How do you find deals, evaluate deals? What makes sense for you? What kind of mindset do you need to be in? And it was just the big need. And I thought, you know, if I could contribute in some way, whether it's answering questions or the daily radio show or a podcast or blogs, articles, whatever it may be, then at least I'll leave my mark positively for real estate investors, whether they're new or pro investors. So it's been a lot of fun the last year and a half.
Absolutely. And how, so for the last year and a half, you've been doing podcasts and radio shows. Do you do public speaking events as well?
I do, absolutely. So I'm a regular speaker at the Private Lender Conference in Las Vegas once a year. I'm also a regular speaker at Think Realty and also IMN. And it's interesting, you know, sometimes getting in front of a crowd jazzes you up a little bit, and I love that feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I just got goosebumps thinking about it because I've done that a couple of times and it's been a while. So let's talk about the people who are interested in starting up in real estate. It seems in the last, maybe a couple of years, actually probably since you started this online community, that real estate's been kind of making some leaps and bounds in different parts of the country.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons also why I started it right around that time, is because when the real estate market is hot, there's so many folks that want to sell you information, whether it's a program or a service or consulting and all these things. And the problem with that is you don't need to spend $20,000 for a weekend course to get good information. And sometimes that information isn't even good information. And that only happens when the real estate market is super, super hot, which I believe where I am right now it is. I'm seeing a big saturation in the market, new investors coming in, experienced investors, kind of a little wary a little bit about what's going on. And, you know, now is a time to make money in real estate, but you also have to be super, super careful. So that's what I love talking about.
I would think so. And Colorado's the same way. It's been going gangbusters. In fact, there's just here in our little town of Loveland, Colorado, people are selling their homes in 3 or 4 days, getting more than the asking price. And it's just been so aggressive like that for probably the last at least year, because our son went through that with his home. And it was like, oh my gosh, he was able to buy it in 2 days. And that's only because the lady liked him. Otherwise, she would have sold it to somebody else.
That's right. Competition is high, and it is a seller's market, let me tell you.
Yeah. I found it interesting. I don't know if you've ran into this before, but some friends of ours retired and they sold their home, and people were clamoring for it because it was such a great investment and offering them above the asking price and all that. But this one lady really wanted the home, and so she wrote them a personal letter about why she wanted the home and how she felt about it and the neighborhood and the history and all that kind of stuff. And they read that letter and they didn't care what her offer was. She got the house.
Yep. And, you know, if I would have known that we're talking about my secret strategies on how to get real estate, David, I would totally have just not even jumped on. No, I'm kidding. That's what I do. It's funny. That is exactly what my team does. Whether it's a letter, it's a handwritten, signed personal letter, or even a video. send that video to the listing agent, and that agent shows it to the homeowner or the investor, whoever is selling the property. And we got to humanize ourselves, right? Everybody's on the phone.
Right.
Everybody's on Twitter, social, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. There are so many platforms out there. But ultimately, we want the sense of connection with another human being. We want to be able to touch and feel. We want to say, wow, this person, this guy, this gal really has my best interest, is a really good person. And you can communicate that with a personal letter. You can communicate that with a video or even a nice personal email. But the more the personal touch, the better it is. So that's where we find a lot of deals. And ultimately, too, we do good for the community and we do good for the homeowner. And we're really proud of that.
Ethics, integrity, what a concept.
Right. I feel like sometimes that's lost.
Right? I totally agree, man. I totally agree. And what's interesting about that approach, in fact, our son, like I said, he did the same thing. He wanted to buy this house, and he met with a lady, and the lady's going, and they just connected. And then, okay, let's do that. And then our other friends with the letter. So, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen your secret in action here. So it's pretty cool. And as a homeowner, if I'm selling our home and I'm invested in this and I love this home and I've been passionate about it for 20 years or however long, I want that connection. I want to hand this off to somebody who's going to appreciate it at least half as much as I do,
That's right. And, as a homeowner, like you said, you've lived there 20, 25 years. You've had memories in the home. You have an emotional connection to the home. And as an investor, my job is to really understand that. And unfortunately, not a lot of investors care. They think of a home not as a home, but as a house. And
yeah, absolutely.
And I get caught in that trap too. It's tough because you run the numbers and you can do all the analysis, and then you look at the renovation budget, new construction budget, and you wonder, okay, what can I turn this into, without really recognizing that somebody used to live there. Somebody's kids grew up in this home.
Right.
And we really have to connect with that. So it's a very humbling experience all the time.
I'm impressed, man. So when somebody listening is going, wow, ethics, integrity, they can help me do this the right way, and I don't have to spend $20,000 for a weekend mind-blowing experience. How do they get in touch with you? Through your website, I assume?
That's the best way to do it. So I feel like I'm a social bug. I'm crazy online. You can look me up. You can look up Real Estate Deal Talk. You can go to realestatedealtalk.com. You can look up Abhi Golhar. Just shoot me a message. I love answering video. Love answering messages in video format, or even just shoot me an email. I don't have VAs somewhere else working for me. It's not going to be an automated response. It is me answering your question. And I'll do my best to get to as many questions as possible that I have throughout the day. But, just get in touch. realestatedealtalk.com is the best place to go.
That's terrific. And so somebody connects with you and you answer their question and you feel a little bit of a connection there, like, this person may have what it takes to get into this real estate game. What's the next step that they take with you?
Great question. So everybody has a different perspective. Everybody has a different mindset. And everybody has a different investment personality. There's some folks that all they want to do, they want to have very minimal risk in the game. They don't have a whole lot of capital to work with. They generally will fall into the wholesaling bucket, where you find motivated sellers and then you want to sell them to buyers. So I work with wholesalers all the time. If you are a type of person that just wants a monthly check in the mail from your rental, we can work together because we're buying rentals all the time. And there's an opportunity there where all you have to do is find a deal, buy it yourself, put property management in place, and all of a sudden you have a cash flowing, income producing asset month after month after month. Alternatively, if you want to be super aggressive and take advantage of the market as it stands right now, as long as you're buying at a discount, you can flip. There's so many opportunities to renovate a home, find a home in the right area, work with the homeowner, build that emotional connection, and buy it, renovate it, and sell it to another homeowner that will take just as good care of that home as the previous homeowner did and as you did. Also, the new construction space, subdivisions, there's a lot of opportunity in the space, and there's unlimited potential. So having a conversation with me and understanding the depth of what's possible is absolutely the next step.
Makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. And obviously, part of your success is being a great listener and being able to deliver easy to understand answers to these folks. So that makes for a nice comfort level for everybody, you know.
Most definitely. And there's so many questions too, whether it's finding a deal, how do I even analyze a market? What is a good deal? What does that even mean to me, or what should that mean to me? What are the numbers associated with the deal? And what boggles my mind too is, folks will invest in the stock market. That's no problem. Nothing wrong with the stock market. But they won't do the research on the stock, the leadership, the financials of the stock. They won't look at these 5-year, 10-year financials. You got to make sure you're doing your due diligence. I mean, would you ever buy a car sight unseen without running a Carfax or at least driving the car? No.
Absolutely not.
Of course not. But that's how many people buy stocks, and then unfortunately, that's how many people think that they should be buying real estate. It's totally not right. So the first thing you should do is ask questions, whether it's asking me a question or just going to a local meetup and asking them questions. Get really comfortable with the vocabulary. Ask all the questions that you can. Understand yourself. Understand what the objective of investing in real estate really is. Is it to earn money? Is it to make impact? For me, it's to make impact. Just the other day, I lectured at a local college and took questions from all the undergrad students, and I had the best time of my life. If I could do that day in and day out, I would. So
right?
It's fun for me.
Absolutely. Good for you. So, all right, we've gone through really well on getting into the real estate opportunities with you. What about if I'm a seasoned pro and I'd like to take my craft to the next level, and I've kind of hit a flat line and I'm not sure what to do?
Great question. So what's interesting is there's so many folks like that, whether it's 20 deals a year, 50 flips a year, or even if you're a builder and you're building 100 homes a year, or really if you're a real estate agent, you're totally dominating the business, you're crushing it, you're doing really well, and you are just on fire.
Yeah.
The problem is you are working in the business because you have to do that same volume the next year. And sometimes, and I've seen this a lot, where seasoned pros, these real estate agents that dominate it, will just fall out of love of real estate because they haven't built the systems. They haven't built the operations to distribute some of that work, to put some of that work on somebody else, to outsource some of that work so they can live a lifestyle they thought that real estate would give them. And understanding that is what really I think I do best, to help leverage somebody else's time and to really find a balance between work, life, and earning money. Because it's one thing to make all the money in the world, but also work 110 hours a week. It's another thing to be able to scale that business and achieve the same objective.
Boy, absolutely right. If you don't have balance in your life, and I know a lot of people that don't. I know no matter what the industry, whether it's selling cars or being a street sign seller, I mean, they work their butt off and don't have a family life, don't have time to exercise, don't have time to breathe, don't have time to take a spiritual look at their bodies or anything like that. And the other folks who look at the big picture and go, okay, I can do this for a year, but next year, if I'm going to increase this, I better have a new system.
That's right. And I was there. I've been there. And it's so tough. If you're a developer in any city, or even if you're a flipper or whatever, you have so many hats to wear. You've got the financing piece. You got to work with investors. You have to work with the city. You have the permitting department to get your demo permit, build permits. I mean, I'm losing my breath and getting anxious just saying all of these things. And it's so difficult to keep things in place and in order. So what do we have to do? We have to bring on other people. We have to pay them well, teach them, build them up, use the right technology so we can scale our business, have clear protocols in place. We got acquisitions, we have sales, and there are a lot of things to manage. And it might be a little crazy the first 6 months, but I would much rather invest 6 months of my time or even a year of my time to develop a system that is coachable, teachable, and duplicatable for others so that I can sit back a little bit more and be that creative visionary that I'm meant to be. So my organization can really take off. Otherwise, wow. I'm spending the 110 hours a week slogging away week after week, and I have to do that year after year, and that's not my objective.
No, exactly. Then you're all about the numbers, and I got to sell one more house next week, and you've lost that contact with the buyer and the seller. There's no chance to have a connection and a relationship because you're just slamming, right?
Right. And that energy, it just exudes from you, right? I mean, then people can tell you don't really care about them. You care more about being in the business and getting the deal done than genuinely caring. And that's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely right. Well, I was looking at your site, and you are indeed all over social media. You're even on Snapchat. How's that work for you?
You know, the undergrads that I lectured to a while ago, they were laughing at me because I kind of understand Snapchat, but at the same time, I don't. Like I was getting my hair cut and I was Snapchatting, and I don't even know if that's the right way you use Snapchat, but quite frankly, I'm just going to keep doing it, and it's fun. You know, I think social media, the online world, presents a very unique opportunity to connect with people that normally you wouldn't have an opportunity to connect with, and it's just, you're having fun. It's cool.
Nice. In fact, I'm glad you had that on your site, and we talked about it for a minute because I haven't even considered Snapchat. I'm on all the other stuff, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. But now you got me curious. Now I got to check that out.
Yeah, check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of my friends, they're just out walking their dogs. They're at the gym, Snapchatting. It's kind of cool. So.
How funny. So people want to reach out to you again. It's realestatedealtalk.com.
Yep, you got it.
And you can find all the information there to connect with Abhi Golhar. Right? Did I say
you got
it
right? 100%.
All right. I had a blank moment there. realestatedealtalk.com. And what's cool about this, man, is you're just there to pay it forward, really, aren't you?
That's right. I don't have anything for sale that I've created on the site at all. I don't even offer consulting services, nothing like that. It's really, I'm an investor. I'm talking about my experiences, both successes and failures of myself, my team, other investors that I interview, and just really taking it from the heart and seeing what this industry really is about instead of just the rags to riches story that you find on late night TV. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
It's a very no nonsense, no BS approach to real estate investing, single family, multifamily, and anything that I'm doing currently. And if there's something else that I could be of service to, or if there are questions that I cannot answer, I will let you know I can't answer them and then go find the answer. So.
Nice. And one last question. I noticed that you have sometimes if people are looking to scale their business, like you talked about a few minutes ago, you might be even interested in partnering with them, right?
That's right. So I have absolutely been doing that the last about 2 or 3 years, and it's been a lot of fun. We understand the processes, we understand what the objectives are, and we partner together, whether it's from an operational perspective, whether it's from a capital infusion perspective, and help to grow that business. Similarly, even on individual real estate deals, we have that same ability, whether it's an equity partner, whether it's a debt partner, or an operational partner. There are many, many, many ways that we can work together. So absolutely, if you have a deal or if you have a business that you feel is struggling, or a deal that's really good, or a business that's doing exceedingly well, and if you want to take it to the next level, I'd be more than happy to have that conversation with you.
That's absolutely terrific. Abhi Golhar is, folks, you got to reach out to him. There's no question about it. And I can't tell you how much I enjoyed our conversation today.
Hey, likewise, David. Thank you very much.
All right. You've been listening to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower and our guest, Abhi Golhar. And don't forget, it's realestatedealtalk.com. And be sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/your 20-minute podcast.
Until next time, don't forget to download your free audiobook at audibletrial.com/your 20-minute podcast. That's audibletrial.com/your 20-minute podcast for your free audiobook. And thanks for listening to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower.